This is Jenny. I have not made one of these videos in, as you can tell, I'm having to adjust how to do it, in almost 3 years. So I'm coming up this weekend on my 4-year surgiversary. So I thought that I would update things a little. I've been actually looking back at some of the things that I've done to, kind of look at my journey again. It's been an extraordinary 4 years. It really, really has. A lot of change. Not all of it has been easy, but I wouldn't go back and not do the surgery. Definitely. Basically, just a quick recap. I had surgery on December 11th of 2012, and my high weight that I used from that year was, though I'd been a little heavier the year before, was 263 pounds. I got down to 152 pounds at one point. My doctor's goal was 149. I didn't ever get there, but honestly, I think in the 150s I was just fine. Even up to about 155 to 165 seemed to be the right place for me. Since that time, I've gotten much more active. I've run 3 half marathons, a number of 10Ks, 5Ks, and started biking again, which is my favorite thing in the whole entire world as far as, an activity. And so yeah, that is kind of where the weight loss was. And it, since then, I have put on a little over, I had put on from my lowest 28 pounds at one point. So I had, and it happened really, really gradually. I mean, it was 5 pounds one year or 5 pounds another year, and it really creeps up on you. And it's really easy to say, okay, I know that when I got into the 160s, I'm like, okay, as long as I keep, because if at 163, I'd had a 100-pound weight loss. And my idea was I always wanted to have kind of that 100 pounds. I wanted to have lost that 100 pounds. And then, but then 165 became acceptable. And then, I was there for about a year, and then, 170 is not so bad. I feel good. I'm, active and everything else. And this last year, 2016, I started at like 169, 168, I want to say, and got up to 180 at one point recently. And, and I had to really start looking at what I was doing and how that's different. Now, I will say, and this is not an excuse, but just a little context. This last year, I left my husband, and I have moved twice. My life just looks extraordinarily different than it did a year ago. It's been very hard, but it's been the right thing. Unfortunately, my husband and I, our lives just went 2 different directions, and we just weren't good partners for each other anymore. And so, in the last 3 years ago, I made my last video, and I just started a doctoral program. I just 2 weeks ago defended my doctoral dissertation for my PhD. I walk in graduation next weekend. I have my own place in a nice loft downtown. My career is going extraordinarily well. I'm part of a leadership program at the community college where I work. And I'm looking at some advancement opportunities right now. This process empowered me. I can't believe how much the weight inhibited me and kept me from doing what I needed to do. And it wasn't just the weight. I think the very process of taking control of it and excuse me, and really conquering it in some ways was very empowering to me. And that is the biggest thing I would say from this process is I have been extraordinarily empowered. And forgive me, I've got a little bit of a cold. I also, about a year out from therapy, or excuse me, from surgery, started therapy. Started seeing a wonderful therapist who's really, really helped me look at. There were a lot of things in my life that, again, and I've actually blogged about this a little bit before. Losing weight doesn't fix everything. Everything isn't suddenly okay. You still have to deal with everything else. And I realized I wasn't as happy as I thought I was, though I was trying very hard to make everyone think I was, including myself. And the more and more and part of this may just be growing and with age and everything else, but the more empowered I became, the more I wanted, like the more I realized I could do. And that really disrupted some elements of my life. It disrupted some people in my life. There are a lot of people, I have half the friends that I had before. I think it's hard for them to see me really, really being who I am now. And there's nothing wrong with who I am now. I'm the best version of myself that I've ever been. And I also understand that some people couldn't handle that. So regardless, I want the best for those people. I want the best for my former partner. He's a wonderful man, wonderful husband, and just a great person. And I have repartnered. I met someone extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary, and we fit so well. And if I had not gone through this process, I would never have been in a place where I could have allowed myself to understand what I needed and give myself permission to get what I needed. And man, did that cause a mess for a little while, but it was the right mess, and it had to happen. So anyway, huge life change that preempted, I should say, many, many other life changes. But ultimately, though the road hasn't been easy, it's right. And so yeah. Now, back to where I was as far as talking about the weight loss. So, excuse me. So when I realized just in the last couple of months that I had actually, within the past month, that it wasn't just, oh, I've got a couple pounds on me, it will go away next week. I've really started being serious again about it. I'm logging my weight every single day. I'm also going back to logging what I'm eating. I really think that when I started to gain weight again, is when I stopped being diligent. And in my 1 year anniversary video, I said, I am going to have to work and log my food for the rest of my life. And I was right, and I need to do that. So I'm back to doing that. Within a week and a half or so of really getting back, I've already started to lose a couple of pounds. I don't think I need to necessarily get to 149, as my doctor said. I want to go back to that idea of of maintaining that 100-pound weight loss. So I want to get under 163 again. I'd love to live in the 150s. That would be great. And I'm working out more again. I never really stopped working out, but I stopped being serious about it. Once the weather started getting cold, I really stopped running and that sort of thing. And some of my running partners were no longer able to run, and I had all these reasons to not do that. And now I'm making sure I'm starting back with elliptical workouts and doing a lot of like floor work, like push-ups and sit-ups and that sort of thing. And that seems to be really working. So, but the biggest thing is staying under 1,300 calories. I mean, that is, when I was losing weight big time after the surgery, I was staying under 12. I feel like giving myself 1,300 calories is okay. If I work out, I get, and again, that's net. So if I work out, I get a few more calories for the day. Yeah, it's a process. And it's a process that is it's just an active process, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not passive. You have to continue working. or you absolutely will gain weight back. There are no two ways about it. This is not a magic bullet. I have witnessed now, 4 years out, I had mentioned before that I had other people I knew that had the surgery. I've watched them put weight back on as well. I've met other people since then who never really lost a lot of weight. And I can say almost to the person it's because they didn't work out. I can't speak to what they're eating or anything else like that, nor is it my place to do so. But and everybody's journey is their own. But I guess I'm just saying that if you are entering into this and you think it's going to be something that you do and you know it's taken care of, and that's not going to be the case. So you have to understand that this is going to be something that you will still manage and work for your whole entire life. And understand that it will make huge changes in your life. And I really, really, really recommend anyone going through this process that they get a good therapist, because people will react to you differently than they used to. Your relationships will have to recalibrate a little bit. People get really used to the nice, safe, funny fat girl or fat guy or whatever. And everyone says they want you empowered, but they don't always like it when it actually happens. So I think sometimes it's important to have someone to talk to that can kind of be a neutral sounding board and an advocate for you. So really, really recommend that. And other than that, I really haven't had any problems since then. I definitely can eat more than I could before. I do think it definitely does stretch a little bit. But I still am much more restricted than I used to be. So that's good. Again, I wouldn't change a thing. It's been a long journey, but the right journey. And right now, I look forward to getting back in where I want to be. And I'm going to update in a month or two here, just because I want to, just like I logged that process, I want to log this process of getting kind of back where I want to be. So right now, if I lose where I am today, I'd like to lose 15 to 18 more pounds, and to kind of be where I need to be. And one thing I will say, and this is really important, it's not just about what I looked like when I was there. When I was at my lowest, and I'd say 163 and below, and then even in the 160s, was when I was most active. And, at one point I did, one of those 10-week CrossFits and everything else, and that was an extraordinary experience. Unfortunately, that was a casualty of the divorce. Now that I have the kids 100%, 50%, 50% of the time I have them to myself. It makes it a little bit more difficult to go to a 4:15 a.m., workout class. But I love doing those things. I love discovering how strong I was. I loved having people say, wow, you've got muscles, that sort of thing. I loved feeling so strong. And that's what I want again. It's not just about, what I look like in this outfit or whatever, what size I am. I felt so strong. And I still feel strong, but I want to go back to, I described myself as an athlete, and I am. I am less of one right now, but I'm right there. So I look forward to kind of getting a handle on that again and embracing it. That the insanity of my life is calming down a little bit. My kids have adjusted to the separation, and the divorce is about to be done with, and I'm settled into my new home where I hope I'll be for the next couple of years. And like I said, I finished my doctorate, so I really feel like I'm in a place now where all of those distractions, and again, I have an incredibly loving and supporting partner whom I love intensely, and I feel like with all those things in my corner, I think I can get back on track and get rid of that pesky 15 or so pounds. So anyway, I will update through the process. Thanks for listening to me vent a little, and maybe it seemed a little personal, but this is a personal process, and I really feel like if you're going to look at doing this, you really need to look at the whole effect that it has on your life. It is not just about the number on the scale. It will change how you look at yourself. It will change how others look at you. And you need to be ready. And you need to really, really understand it. So I hope this was helpful. And I will promise I will check in. It won't take another 3 years, I promise. So have a great day and have a wonderful holiday season. And thanks a lot for listening.